Long ago, when the early church was still young and the message of Jesus was spreading like light in the darkness, there lived a man named John, one of the 12 disciples of Christ. He had walked with the Master, seen his miracles, leaned on his shoulder at the Last Supper, and stood at the foot of the cross when Jesus gave him charge over Mary, his mother. John's life was filled with bold preaching and unwavering faith, but not everyone rejoiced in his message. The Roman Empire, powerful and merciless, saw the followers of Jesus as a threat to their authority. Their emperors demanded worship as gods, but John preached that only the Lord Jesus Christ was worthy of such honor. Because of his testimony, John was arrested under the reign of Emperor Domitian. His crime? Proclaiming the gospel of the risen Lord. Some accounts say they tried to kill him, but God preserved his life. Instead, the Romans sent him into exile, far away to a barren, rocky island in the Aegean Sea called Pathmos. Pathmos was no paradise. The land was harsh, its cliffs beaten by restless waves. Food was scarce, the air was salty and dry, and the days were lonely. Yet John did not despair. Instead, he turned the silence of exile into a sanctuary of prayer. One quiet day, as the sun sank low and the sea shimmered gold, John was in the Spirit on the Lord's day. Suddenly, a voice thundered behind him, "Write on a scroll what you see and send it to the 7 churches." Startled, John turned to see the source of the voice, and there before him stood one like the Son of Man, clothed in a robe reaching down to his feet, with a golden sash across his chest. His eyes blazed like fire, his face shone like the sun, and his voice roared like the sound of many waters. It was Jesus, glorified. John fell at his feet as though dead, but the Lord placed his right hand on him and said, "Do not be afraid. I am the first and the last. I am the living one. I was dead, and now look, I am alive forever and ever." Over the days and nights that followed, God gave John visions so vast, so mysterious, and so filled with glory that they would become the final book of the Bible, the revelation of Jesus Christ. In those visions, John saw the throne of God, angels worshipping, the final battle between good and evil, and the promise of a new heaven and a new earth where God himself would dwell with his people. When John's time in Patmos ended, he returned to the mainland, his heart burning with the hope he had seen. He lived to an old age, still teaching, still encouraging, and still pointing to the one who said, "Surely I am coming soon." And so, the rocky island of Patmos, a place of exile and hardship, became the sacred ground where heaven touched earth, and where a faithful disciple received a vision that would inspire believers for all generations.